Hey everyone, it's Chris from Crafty Creations by CV. I'm here today to do a tutorial for my new tuxedo design on a modified Unique in the Creek board that I had designed for this. The board is a scaled down version from Lori's Triangle boards. It is a 16 in length by 5.5 width. And it has an integrated hanger on it. So what we're going to do before I do the layout of the board, I just want to show you the petals that we're going to be using for the tuxedo design. Okay, so I'm going to just put this aside for just a moment. We are going to be using black faux jute mesh, which you can get from Unique in the Creek. And I will put a supply list with SKU numbers so that you can find it easily if you wanted to try to make this. The boards themselves are actually on my website, so I will put that link in there as well. So these are modified Unique in the Creek shirt boards, okay? So we're going to take our fabric mesh first. This is the first petal we're going to do. It's like a little square petal. And you're going to cut, this mesh is 10.5. So you're going to cut a 10.5 by 10.5 square. Okay, you're going to turn it so that your finished edge is in the upper left-hand corner and in the lower right. What you're going to do is take your top point and you're going to bring it to the middle, your bottom point and bring it to the middle. Then you're going to take this bottom and fold it up to the middle and the top and fold it to the middle. Okay, so this is kind of what it's going to look like. Then just keep your index finger in the middle on the mesh and you're going to fold the right to the left, just like that. And then what I do to make sure that I have symmetrical petals are the same size, I put them on my measuring board and I put my folded edge on a 10 and I want 4-inch petals. Okay, so then I just go to where my 14 is and then I'm going to use little 4-inch zip ties instead of elastics for this, and I'll be able to show you why once we start doing the board. It just helps them stay on the board better. Okay, so you're going to do that. And then you just flip it. And then we're just going to cut this tail part off because we don't need that. Okay, so that is going to be your first petal right there. Okay, and it's like a square petal. So I'll do that again for you. So again, you're going to have your square finished edge on the top left, lower right. You're going to take your top point and bring it to the middle of your mesh square. And then you're going to do the same with the bottom. You're going to take this bottom again and fold it up again. And then you're going to fold the top down again. Okay. Just put your hand in the middle there and you're going to fold the right over to the left. And then we're going to make a 4-inch petal. Okay. And again, you just line it up on your board. And then I'm using a little 4-inch zip tie. And then we're going to clip the little tail off. Okay, because we don't need that. So that's the first petal we're going to be using. And this, you're going to use, you're going to make 39 of these petals. Okay, so 39 of the fabric mesh or faux jute mesh, whatever you want to call it, 39 of those. Okay. The next petal is very similar. It's just that we're going to make it a little bit wider. This is going to be the white that we're going to use for the tuxedo shirt. Okay. So we're basically doing the same thing, except this horizontal wide stripe mesh is 10 by 10, not 10.5. Okay. So you're going to cut your 10 by 10 square. You're going to turn it again, factory edge, upper left, lower right. You're going to take your top point, you're going to bring it to the middle, your bottom point to the middle as well. So this time when we fold this edge up, we're not going to fold it directly to the middle because we want to have a larger square. So you're just going to kind of fold it in about halfway, and then you're going to do the same with the top. Okay, so you can see that it's bigger. You have more of a gap in between here. But same concept. Put your index finger in the middle, take your right and flip it over to your left, and you're going to turn it. And again, we're making a 4-inch petal. So we're going to put it on our 10 and then scrunch it. Okay, so the length of the petal is the same. It's just that this is going to be wider. Okay, and then I'm going to take another zip tie. And do that. Flip it, and then you cut your tail off. Okay, so as you can see, the white one is just a little bit wider than the black ones. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be making 10 of these medium white squares, and I'll do that. I'll do that fold again just so that you see it again. 10 by 10 square, and just kind of turn it so that it's kind of in a diamond shape with your factory edge in the upper left and lower right. Take your point, fold it to the middle, your bottom point, fold it to the middle, and then we're going to take this and just fold it about halfway, not all the way to the halfway point. And again, halfway between the halfway point and your edge. You're going to keep your hands on the mesh, and you're going to fold the right to the left side. Okay, and then I'm going to put it on my mat on my 10, and I'm going to make a 4-inch in length petal. And this is more like a little rectangle, I guess you could call it. I just call it the square because that's what just reminds me of, but obviously it's not a perfect square. Okay, so we're going to clip that, and then we're going to cut that. All right. So again, we're going to have 10 of these that we're going to be making. I'm just going to put those aside. The next petal that we're going to be doing is the angel wing petal. Okay. So we're going to take these. This is, again, is a horizontal wide stripe. I'm going to make it into the diamond shape, 10 by 10 cut. This time you're going to bring the point all the way down to the bottom point here. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take little clips, and I'm going to clip the edges here. So this right corner, try to get it as pointy as you can. And the same with this left side here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, just because I want to try to keep the edges as lined up as perfectly as possible, I'm just going to put a little clip on each of the sides here. Okay. This is going to be for the collar part of the tuxedo. So we're just trying to get it as even as possible. You're just going to fold your little tip up just a little bit. And then basically you're just going to scrunch, walk your fingers up the middle. Okay, just like that. So you can kind of see they look like little wings there, little butterfly or angel wings. You're going to take it and you're going to turn it to the left. Okay, so here's where they really look like angel wings. And just try to make sure your points are pretty much the same length. So if they're kind of off, you can adjust it by moving up in here. You're going to create a little nub on the top, about 1 inch. And for this, I use an elastic because we're going to be doing another fold down with it. So the zip tie would be a little bit harder. So you're going to put an elastic around the nub, and then you're going to take and just kind of overlap your petals like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to do more of the elastic here. So this is what your petal is going to look like. Okay. So that's going to be your petal. And then what I do is I just kind of keep a clip on the points until I'm ready to use them, and I kind of flatten them out a little bit. So we're going to be making 6 of these. So we'll have 3 for each side. And I'll do that fold again for you. Okay, so you're going to take your point. You're going to bring it down to the bottom point. And you're going to clip your corners into points. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to clip the sides just because I want to try to keep it as even as possible. And I'm going to fold this little tip up just a little bit, like a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to just walk my fingers up the middle and turn it to the left. Okay. Make sure your points are lined up, creating your little nub. Do your elastic. And then basically you're just kind of bringing your fingers in between and you're just folding them together like that. And then just tighten your elastic more. Okay. And again, this is what your petal is going to look like. Okay. So it has a little curve to it. So basically when we put these on our board, they're going to kind of be layered like this. So it's going to kind of make that, I think they call it a lapel or something like that, but that's going to be like the collar part for our design. Okay. So you're going to need 6 of these all together. And then the last petal fold we're going to do is for the necktie area. Okay. For the top part of the shirt, the collar area. So what you're going to do is, again, horizontal wide stripe the white, cut it into your square 10 by 10. You're going to take your top point, and again, you're going to bring it down to the bottom. Okay. And this time, I'm more worried about the point down here because that's going to be the point of the shirt. So I'm going to put my clip there. And then I'm just going to try to, again, make my sides as even as possible. And I'm going to put a little clip on there. It may not be perfect, but that's okay. All right, so that's what we're going to start with. You're going to take your right corner and you're going to fold it just shy of your halfway point. Okay, so here's your halfway point, just to the right of it, just like that. Okay, and you're going to take a clip and just clip the top like that. I'm going to do the same on the left. Okay, so you're going to bring it just shy of your halfway point, and you're going to put a clip there. Okay, so it kind of looks like a home plate. We're going to flip it over. Okay, and these I'm just going to take off and move to this a little off to the side a little bit. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this right side and we're going to fold it in just shy of the middle again. Okay. So if we use this line as our middle point here, it's just to the right of it. And then just take your clip and clip the top like that. Okay. And then this one I'm just going to take and I'm going to just kind of clip the side there so it stays. I'm going to do the same on the left. You're just basically folding it in just shy of the middle and just move your clip like that. Okay, so this is basically what your top part of your shirt is going to look like. Okay, so I just kind of make this and then I put it aside. We're going to add buttons to it after and then attach it to the board. Okay, so you just need one of those. All right, so I'm going to put all of our petals aside for the moment. And we're going to look at the board now. So here is the new shirt board. Okay, like I said, it's a modified board from the Unique and the Creek Triangle board. So it's her board. It's just modified to what I needed for my designs. These will be available on my website. Hopefully Wednesday night or Thursday. So I always do my little cheat sheet. So because this is a new design and it's kind of a little complicated if there's too many zip ties, we're going to just do the zip ties as we go. Usually I like to preload my board, but it may be a little bit harder to see. So I will post the template that I have here, which has all the numbers and the placement for each of the petals. Okay, so I will post that for you guys too, because I know sometimes it's hard to see on here. All right, so I will show you the back of the board too as we go, so you can kind of see the rows and stuff and what they look like. So what's nice is you have numbered rows. So we have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. Okay. So we're going to be actually starting on row 10. And we're going to put a zip tie between row 10 and row 9. So second hole over. And then we're going to do 10 to 9. Okay. So that's going to be our first zip tie. And I'm just going to go in order just to make it easy to follow. But if you have any questions, just message me and I'll try to answer them. So we're going to start with a black. Okay, this is the little squares that we did. And this is why I do the zip ties, because when we're doing these holes here, they're wider than your normal, than the normal regular holes. So with just the elastic, the zip tie can't get that tight. It's going to pull out. So I use that, and it kind of blocks it from being able to be pulled out. So what you do is just kind of put it in there, move it towards the bottom here. Okay. And then you're just going to pull the zip tie, and then it'll kind of pull up towards the middle of it a little bit. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right side of the board. Okay. And I apologize if this is going to take a little bit longer because we're doing the zip ties as we go, but I'll try to get through it as quick as I can without confusing you. So again, number 2 here is going to be another black zip tie, or another black petal, I mean. I'm going to zip tie it in, and just like that. Okay. The third zip tie we're going to do, number 3, is going to be row 10 to the outside of the board. And it's going to be going sideways here. And it's going to kind of overlap the one above it. And then we're going to do the same thing on this right side. So that's second hole from the right to the edge of the board. And we're going to put another black petal here. Okay, we're going to clip those. Okay, so our next one is going to be on row 9, and we're going to be using these 2 holes here. And this is petal number 5. And then we're going to put a zip tie here between these 2 holes, and this is going to be petal number 6. And these are going to be the black ones again. So we're going to put that right over top and just tighten your zip tie. And we're going to put this one right over the top and tighten it. You don't have to worry about the position of the petals, because we're going to be kind of adjusting them at the end. Just try to make sure, if possible, you try to kind of keep them as even as you possibly can, so that they're not all different lengths. Okay. And you can adjust that when you're putting them into the zip ties. All right. So our next one is, we're going to go between row 9 and row 8. You can kind of see the pattern that we're doing here. So if we look at the back of the board, okay, that's what we're starting with. And this is going to be petal number 7. And it's going to go right in here. So now when you're starting to do these, move it up towards the top part of your zip tie, okay? And that just helps keep the placement when we go to do it. So here I'm just kind of pulling it in a little bit so that it's kind of lining up, and then tightening it a little bit more. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. So it's the second hole in, and we're going row 9 to row 8. Turn that off. Okay, so then we're going to put another one there. And again, I'm just trying to, like I said, just kind of line it up as best as you can, as close as you can. And then I'm going to tighten it. Now we're going to put one in the middle. So we're still on row 8, and this is petal number 11. And this is just going to go right in the middle holes here. I'm just going to turn it sideways a little bit. It's just easier for the zip ties. Okay, so right now we have row 8, 9, and 10 done. So if we look at the back, that's what it's going to look like. Okay, and flip it back over. Now we're going to do in between row 8 and row 7. We're kind of doing the same pattern going all the way up to a certain point. And this is petal number 12. And again, I'm just trying to line it up as best as I can. Push it up towards the top of your zip tie and then pull it tight. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing on this right side. This is going to be petal number 13. So it's between 8 and 7, the rows. And we're going to put another one here. And again, we're kind of just lining it up as best as we can. And then tighten your zip tie. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do 14, which is going to be to this left again. So these are going to be your 2 outer holes. Okay, so when we did these down here, these were kind of the inner holes. We're doing the outer holes now. And this is petal number 14. And I'm just going to turn it a little bit here. And again, we're just going to tighten that. We're going to do the same thing on the right side. Okay, so it's going to be those 2 outer holes. And we're going to add another petal. And then we're going to do on row 7, we're going to use these 2 middle holes here. And this will be petal number 16. And this is going to go right over the top of these other 2 here. And then we're going to do that. Okay. Move that up a little bit. Oh, you know what? I skipped a row. Hold up. Even with my numbers, I still screw it up. I'm just going to take these out real quick because I did screw that up. So I forgot to do 9 and 10. Okay, so I'm going to do those right now. I think I forgot to do those last time too. So number 9 is, I'm going to take this one out because we're not going to do, you know, want to do that one first. So number 9, okay, is your far left on row 8. And I apologize, I forgot that row. Row 8, we have number 10, which is your far right, the 2 outer. And I'll show you the back of it because I know I just kind of screwed everybody up here. And then we're going to do number 11 now, which is in the middle. And that's going to go just set right on top of those 2. And I'll show you the back. Okay. So this is row 8 right here. And then we did these, and now we're gonna go to row 7. So this was 11, this is 12, this is 13, and now we're gonna do 14, which is the 2 outer holes to your far left on row 7. And then we're going to do the same thing, row 7, the 2 furthest holes on the right hand side. And then we're going to be doing row 7 again. Petal number 16 is going to be in those center holes here. Okay. My hands don't want to work that well. And that's going to go right in the middle like that. Okay, so I'm going to clip those. So row 7 is done. Let me just kind of show you the back quick. Okay, so that's so far, that's what we have. We have 10, 9, 8, 7. Those are your rows. I'm going to flip it back around. So we're going to be doing between row 7 and row 6 now again. So it's going to be the second hole in. And we're going up. And this is going to be petal number 17. And this is the one that's going to go to the side here. And again, you're going to kind of bring it to the top of your zip tie and then just pull it tight. And see how like this is a little bit further out. So what I'm going to do is just adjust it and pull it in a little bit. So it's a little bit more in line. And then I'm going to tighten it again. So that looks a little bit better. It's a little bit more lined up. And then we're going to do that again on the right side. Second hole in. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to kind of just line it up as best as we can. And then we're going to pull it tight. Okay, now we're going to go to row 6, and we're going to be doing the far left. So far left, the outer holes, this is petal number 19. So as you can see, kind of what we do on the left side, we're doing on the right side for right now. So we're going to put that in there. And then we're going to do the same thing. This will be petal number 20 on row 6, the far right. And that's, put that in there. Put those. Okay, now we're going to do the middle 2 holes with the black. And this is again on row 6, the center holes. And that's just kind of layering right on top of those other ones that we did. And now we're going to be adding white ones to each side. So to the left of that is number 22, to the right is number 23, and those are going to be white petals. Okay, so let me just put the zip ties in. And then once we do that, I'll show you the back again. So basically, we're just adding petals to the left and to the right of that center black one. So these are those inner holes. And we're going to place 2 white petals. And it's going to just go just like that. And then you just kind of shift it a little bit. And then we're going to put that one in. So you're going to kind of join them in the middle. So you just want to kind of make sure that they, again, are kind of lining up at the edges there as best as you can. Okay. So that is row 6. And I'm going to turn this around so you can see it. So we have all the holes are used on row 6. Okay. Now we're going to go from row 6 to row 5 in this outer portion here. Okay. And it's, again, the second hole in. And this is going to be a black petal again. And again, just line it up as best as you can. And then kind of towards the top of where the zip tie is. And then we're going to do the same on the right side. And it's the second set of holes. And that's going from row 6 to row 5. And that's going to be another black petal. Just kind of push it up towards the top. And then just kind of line it up as best as you can. And then tighten it. Okay, it's going to get my little cheat sheet because it starts to get tricky in here and then I forget things. So that was petal 25. So now we're going to go to petal 26, which is going to be, we're starting on row 5 now. Okay, so petal 26 is going to be far left again. And this is going to be a black petal. And then we're going to do the same thing on the far right, the outer 2 holes. And this is petal 27. And this is going to be another black petal. I'm just going to put those zip ties for us. Okay. So number 28, we're going to actually be doing the middle 2 holes. Okay, that center one. And then this is going to be a white petal. So this is petal number 28. And it's a white one. And it's right in the center here. And that's on top of those black ones right there. And then we're going to be doing white petals on either side. So petal 29 and 30 are going to go on either side of that one that we just did. And again, these are going to be white petals. And then I'll show you the back so we can kind of, as we go along, see kind of where we're at. Okay, so we're going to do a white petal here. So like I said, number 29, and that's just kind of laying right over that one. And petal number 30. And again, these you're just going to kind of spread out a little bit and just kind of make sure the bottoms line up here. Okay. Then we're going to do 31, which is going to be, let's see more zip ties here. So this is what we have so far. So again, we're going to have 5 using all of those. So this is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, row 5. So we're going to go to the far left again, and we're going to be using the outer holes row to row again. And that's going to be a black one. And again, just kind of shift it up towards the top. Now this one is going to be out further because this is kind of where we're starting the shoulder portion. Okay. So we're just going to kind of bring it up toward the top, and it will jet out a little bit more, which is what we want it to do. And then we're going to do the same thing between row 5 and 4, those outer 2 holes between the 2 rows. And that's going to be another black one that we're going to put in. And again, just kind of push it up towards the top of your zip tie. It's going to come out further than the other one. That's what we want for this one. Okay. And that's petal number 32. Petal number 33, we're going to go, I'll show you on the back. So this is the holes that we just did. We're going to be putting zip ties into these holes now. Okay. So it's row 5 to row 4, and it's just that next set of holes in. And we're going to put another black one. And again, you're just going to kind of put it up towards the top of the zip tie here. Kind of just, it fits right over that other one. And then we're going to do the same on this side. So again, it's those inner holes right next to the ones that we just did. Just like that. And again, get our thing here, right in there. And like I said, that just kind of goes right over top of that one. And then just pull your zip tie. Okay. So now what we're going to do, so that was petal, I just want to look here just for reference. That was petal 34. Now we're going to do petal 35. So 35 is going to be on row 4, and it's going to be our center holes here. Okay. And this is going to be a white one. So row 4, we're starting in the center, and it's going to be a white petal. And that's petal 35. I know it seems redundant, but it's the only way I can remember it. I keep screwing this up if I don't count them like that. 36 and 37 are going to go on the either side of that one. So row 4 on either side are going to be white petals. And those are going to kind of just rest right over top of that one. And the reason why I kind of do them like this, it gives it a layer, so it kind of just gives it some volume so that it's just not lying flat. I just liked the look of it a little bit better. Okay. So this is petal 37. It's another white one. And again, those two are just going to kind of come together. Just like that. So I'm just trying to make sure that they're a little bit even. So I'm going to pull this one in just a little bit and then tighten it. Okay. Now 38, we're going to go back to this left side so you can kind of see it forming here. So we're going to go, this is what it looks like. So again, we have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, row 4. We're going to be doing these outer ones again. Okay, so this is going to be, the left side's going to be petal number 38. Oops, sorry. This is why I don't usually do this as I go, because I fumble with them. Okay, so this is 38. And again, you're just going to move it towards the top. So it's going to kind of line up with this one and then pull it tight. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right side. We're going to do those outer 2 holes from row 4 to row 3. And we're going to shift it up towards the top and kind of just line it up the best we can and then tighten it. Just like that. Okay, so that was petal number 39. Now we're going to go to petal 40. So again, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to flip it over. We're going to be doing those inner holes again. Okay, so right next to the ones that we just did, we're going to be doing the inner ones. Okay, so we're going to do the left side. And this is going to be another black one here. And again, you're just going to kind of line it up the best that you can. Kind of push it up towards the top. And then we're going to do the same thing on this right side. So it's the holes directly next to the one we just did. And this is going to be petal 41. And again, it's another black petal here. That's going to go like that. All right, so now number 42, we're going to do is going to be between row 3 and row 2. And these are going to be the outer ones again. So we'll have the ones to the left and the ones to the right. So we're going to put these in here. And this is going to be a black one again. And again, just keep it pushed up towards the top of the zip tie. And like I said, it kind of gives you that curvature of the shoulder. And then pull it tight. And then we're going to do the same on the right side. So this is going to be petal number 43. And it's going to go in like that. And we're going to place it in there. And again, up towards the top, you're going to kind of just line it up. And make that curve of the shoulder there. And then you're going to pull it tight. Okay. So now we're going to go to petal 44, which is going to be on row 2. Or zip ties here, the longer ones. And this is going to be a white one again. And then 45 is going to be not the center one, the one that's off center to the right here. And that's going to be another white one. I'll put these in and then I'll show you the back of it again. Okay, so 44. And 45. And again, these kind of, you turn it to the side, you just try to line them up the best you can. Okay. And then let me show you the back. So that was row 2. Okay, so we have that hole and that hole. There's nothing in the center. And then that was 45. So now we're going to go to petal number 46, which is going to be our top one, which is going to be our actual necktie one. So what I'm going to do before we put this on, yeah, I just want to do that. Just had to move that, sorry. I want to put the buttons on this first because sometimes it's harder to do when it's on the shirt. So what I do is I take a little zip tie, okay, and I'm actually going to go, we're going to be having a button here at the tip because that's going to tack it to this for us. And then you're going to have a button right about here where the closure is, and then one a little bit down from the top. So basically you're just going to take your zip tie and you're going to go through the back. You're going to put your button through your button. And of course, I don't have my glasses on, so it's a little bit harder for me to see this. I'm just going to pull this through here. And then you're going to go back down with it. back down through your mesh. And I just found doing it this way helped me to kind of line them up and keep them even. I'm just going to turn it over, and then you're just going to do your zip tie. And I'm just going to make sure our button is flat. And just try to put it in the center as best as possible. And then just pull that tight. There we go. And there's our first button. Just going to clip the back of that zip tie. And we're going to do our second button, which, like I said, is going to be about where you have your folds that come in down the bottom here. And we're going to do the same exact thing. So we're going to do a zip tie up through the bottom. And I'm going to just try to catch a little bit of that so it holds it in place for us. And then we're going to feed the zip tie through the button. And the zip tie is just a little bit bigger than the hole, so it just kind of is a little bit harder to pull through, but it does go through. And then we're going to go back down. Just like that. Okay, and then we're going to kind of center it. I'm going to flip it over and just tighten our zip tie. Flip it. So we have 2 buttons done. We'll put the third button on once we kind of finish up that part up. So we're going to be attaching this. So this necktie part is our number 46, which is going to be on our top row here, which is row 2. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to take these clips off. So we're going to be putting our zip tie through the center holes. So I'm just kind of lining this up, and you can kind of just line it up, make sure it kind of looks straight like that. And you're going to go through the mesh, through the hole there, and then we're going to come back up through. And like I said, before I tighten it, I'm just kind of going to make sure that it's straight. Of course, I put the zip tie in backwards. Okay. So I'll kind of look at it this way so I can kind of see. So I kind of just want it right up at the top here. And then I'm going to pull it tight. Okay. And just like that. Now what we're going to do, that was number 46. Now we're going to actually take our collar petals here that we did, those angel wing petals, and we're going to start placing them. Okay, so I'm going to turn this back around this way so you can see it a little bit better. So this is what our back looks like. When we're doing the collar ones, we're going to be using the row 3, the outer holes, row 2, the outer holes, and then the top row, the outer holes. And we're going to be doing that on the left and the right side. Okay. Usually, like I said, I preload everything, but it would be hard to see it. So I just want you to know where they're going to go. So like I said, our first one, 47, is going to be right here. And it's right down in between. So it's not too hard to get that in there. Okay. And this is going to be our first angel wing pattern. So when we put these on, you're going to put the curved edge is actually going to be towards where the white is. Okay, so you can kind of see that it's kind of giving it that curve. So you're just going to put that in like that. Okay. I'm going to just clip that. And then what I do sometimes, I just kind of keep that clip on there just to kind of keep everything in position. And I'm going to turn, we're going to do the same thing on the right side. Okay, so we're going to be using the same 2 holes on row 3 is where we're starting. Okay, that's going to be the bottom of our collar. Okay, and again, and that's going to go right in there like that. And then we're going to pull that tight. And I'm just going to, like I said, I'm just going to keep my points clipped here. Now we're going to go back to the left side. I just usually go left to right. It's just easier for me to remember where I'm at. So now we're going to go up to row 2 here, and we're going to use these 2 outer holes again. And like I said, when you look in there, you'll be able to see the holes. They're not obscured or anything by the mesh. You just have to kind of go in between a couple of the petals. And again, you're going to have your curved edge is going to be where the white is. Okay, and that's going to go right in like that. And again, I'm just going to kind of clip that there. And we're going to do the same thing on the right side. Okay. And that's going to be row 2, those outer petals. Sorry, outer holes, not petals. It's been a long day. Okay. And again, this one's going to go like this. And it kind of sets right near that. I'm going to kind of have it on a little angle. I'm going to clip my little edges there. And then we're going to basically put our top 2 on and then do our other button. And then we're going to work on the bow tie and the cummerbund. Okay, so we're going to actually go back to this left side up top. And these are going to be the last sets of holes. So we're going to use these 2 holes here and these 2 holes here. Okay. And you're going to go down through the white mesh again into the holes. And that just helps hold that top portion flatter for us. And that's going to go right over the top like that. And again, I'm just going to put my little clip on there just to, and then we're going to go ahead and do that last collar petal on this side here. And again, we're going to go down through the white mesh and then up through again. And then that's going to go right in there like that. And we'll clip that. Okay. And just put my little one here. So then this will kind of, if it doesn't stay down, like I said, what you can do is kind of tack it down with that last button. Okay. So what I usually do, I get one of my little shoulder zip ties here. So we're going to kind of just take that point there. So we're going to go up through this mesh here. And then kind of on either side of the point. And then we're going to put our button through here again. And then we're going to go back down on kind of the other side of the point there. and then down through the other white mesh petal. And then you'll have your zip ties under here. You just attach it. And just be careful when you're pulling this one, because you don't want to rip your mesh. So you don't have to pull it really, really tight, because you just, like I said, you just want it to kind of tack it down a little bit so that it's not like wonky sticking up. Use my little clippers here. I'm going to pull it a little bit tighter. Then you won't even see those zip ties underneath. Okay. So there we have the first part of our tuxedo. So then what I do is, going down the side, I take these petals and I overlap them. So I take the top one, and the one below it, I feed it into it a little bit, just the pointy part, okay? And it just kind of gives it that curvature. And the same down here. So what I do is I take the top petal, and that goes over the petal below it. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing as we go down here. And then you kind of just spread them out a little bit here. Just like that. And then we're going to do the same on this side. So that top petal is going to overlap into, the other one's going to kind of go into that. And same here. Like I said, you're just kind of putting just that little point in there. And then we're going to do the same going down here. So it's going to be the top petal is going to be the one that's on top there. There we go. And you can kind of pull these if one is like a little bit smaller than the other. You can kind of pull it so that it's fills it out more. Okay, so that is that part. I'm just going to take these off just so that you can see it. Okay, so there is our tuxedo. So now we're going to put our bow tie and our cummerbund. So I've been kind of playing around with the cummerbund a little bit. So what we're going to be doing is, you're going to take 3 pieces of 14-inch ribbon, and it's 2.5 width ribbon. And basically what I did, I'm going to take this apart for you so you can just see, is I folded about 1/2 inch on each piece. Okay, so that when you turn it over, you're going to have a little 1/2 inch fold on the bottom. So I did that for each one of these. Okay. And then you're just going to take each one and just kind of overlap it a little bit. Okay, so when I overlap them, I found, after playing around, if you make your cummerbund about 3 inches in height, it'll fit really good. So I kind of just, when I'm lining them up here, I'm just looking for kind of like the 3-inch mark. This top one, you're going to kind of fold down a little bit as well. Just like that. And then if you have to adjust it, you can just kind of move your ribbon up and down. And then when I kind of have it where I want it, I just put some clips. And then I kind of go all the way across to kind of line it all up. It's nice when you have a pattern, because then you can kind of, use that as your your eye mark of where you kind of want it to go. And again, this is just kind of folding down. I'm going to put a little clip there just while we're doing it here. And again, right there. Okay, so I'm just going to, you know, double check it. Like I said, it's about 3 inches across. I mean, up and down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an elastic and just kind of, just on the edge here, maybe about 1 inch. I'm going to just start to kind of scrunch that in. Okay. And I'm going to put an elastic. And don't worry at the other side. My clips didn't hold. We can just realign everything. Not a big deal. Okay. So that's kind of keeping it just shy of our 3 inches there. And we're going to do the same thing on this other side. Okay. Take these off about 1 inch in, and we're just going to kind of gather the end like that and put a little elastic on it. Got to turn it around here. Okay. And I just kind of keep these clips on here for right now, just so that top edge stays folded down. So the placement of the cummerbund, I'm going to get a couple little black zip ties here. So, and I just did this just to kind of show, like demonstrate to you. So where the petals are on the board, we're going to be wrapping this around those petals and then actually zip tying them to the back of the petal. So I was playing around, and you can actually do it like this and then put your petals on the board when you're on that row, or you can do them after the fact. So I was kind of playing around with that, but I figured for demonstration purposes, it's going to be better to show it to you this way. So the cummerbund's going to go, let me do this here. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, no, 1, 2, 3, row 4 and row 5. So you're going to have that middle, it's 10, 9, 8, and 7. So on row 7, you have that middle petal, okay? This, where we folded down here, that little edge is actually going to go onto that middle petal, okay? It's going to kind of tuck underneath here. So it's going to go, it's right there. This is what I said. I'm still kind of playing around with this a little bit here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So it's actually your second middle petal is where that's going to go. And it's just going to kind of lay flat like that. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to tuck this under. Just like that. And what you can do is just clip it for the time being. And then you're going to do the same on this. Just kind of lift up the petal and fold that under. And then I'm going to kind of clip, like I said, clip that side because it's just easier like that. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to flip this up. Okay, so here you have, you're just going to put a zip tie through your black mesh petal because you're not going to see it. So you can go all the way through and then go back down through the mesh. So you're going to go up through the mesh, down through the mesh, and you're going to have your zip tie around that little area, that little end where you put your elastic. Okay, and then just pull your zip tie tight. Okay, just like that. And I'm just going to clip this a little. You can clip the ends a little bit if your ribbon gets a little frayed. I usually do that all that at the end. Okay, so that's just going to kind of go back down like that. And then we're going to do the same on this side. And kind of, like I said, turn it up. You're going to take a black zip tie and you're going to go up through your petal. And then back down through your petal. And you're just going to do your zip tie. And again, it's kind of just right around where that elastic is where you're placing it. Okay. And then I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. So again, I want to try to get that little fold there. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep that underneath. So we'll see where I want my petal there. No, I want it underneath it. So it's going to kind of be right underneath the white. And it's going to kind of be just like that. Okay. And you can do any design, you know, any ribbon you want. If you want to put little dabs of glue there just to kind of keep it nice and straight, you can do that too. Just for demo purposes, I'm just kind of doing it like this. But if you want it to be nice, crisp, and straight across, you could put, like I said, a little dab of glue on the back of it just to kind of keep it that way. And then we're going to add, next is our bow tie. So basically I just did a little bow tie. I have a 3-inch loop and then a 4-inch loop underneath it. And then I just wrapped a piece of the ribbon around the middle. And I have a pipe cleaner and about 7 inches of a little tail here, because that's what's going to wrap around the actual board up at the top here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my pipe cleaners and just feed them through the 2 middle holes, but not pull them tight or anything just yet. Okay. So I'm going to take this little tail part here and I'm going to be wrapping it around the hanger part, and I'm going to be tucking it underneath the bow and through the pipe cleaner. Okay, and then I'm going to cut the excess once I'm done here. Okay, so it's going to kind of go around like this. And I'm going to bring this down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting the pipe cleaners up through my ribbon here, and that's going to help to hold that in place as well. So I'm just going to kind of stick my pipe cleaner up through my ribbon. I'm going to get the little pointy part there. I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm just going to bring it up through. Sometimes you just have to kind of catches on the ribbon thread there. So you just got to kind of wiggle it through. Okay. So before I pull it tight, I just want to make sure that this ribbon is still through the pipe cleaner on the front. Okay. And as long as it is, you're going to pull your pipe cleaner tight. Just like this. And just tie it off. Okay. And then you can just clip that. You can poke it down. There's the little hole there, so you can cut it a little bit down and then just poke it back through the hole if you want, so you don't have any little wires, you know, sticking out. Okay, so that's what the back's going to look like. And then you have your front here. And I just kind of bring this up and it makes it look like a little collar. And then you can, when you hang it, you can kind of scrunch that like that, and it will kind of hide that little hanger for you. And then I'm just going to cut this excess off. Just make sure you cut your petals. Okay. And there you have it. You have a little tuxedo. Just like that. And then you can just kind of play around and just kind of move your mesh around a little bit. And I just thought this was something really neat and different to go with the bridal gown that I did. And you can hang these on some wreath stands, put them on a wedding table. You could hang them on the bridal suite. They're a great size. They're not overly huge. And like I said, you can customize the ribbon for your customers, do the groomsmen, make some fun ones for little boys. So lots of possibilities with this. So again, sorry that it was so long. I hope you guys enjoyed it and was able to follow along. Like I said, if you have any questions, please just reach out to me. The boards themselves, like I said, should hopefully be up on my website for sale Wednesday or Thursday of this week. I'll get those up. I'll put the supply list up for Unique in the Creek, where you can get your mesh and if you need zip ties and things like that. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed it. New design, new board, and have a great night.